Dear colleagues, hello. I wish everyone is in a perfect health. Kindly, we can fight this virus and save humanity as simple as staying at home. And in order to have the best time sitting at home, which is not always the best time, we can share information together with small tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the years in oral surgery and oral implantology, and GBR, soft tissue preservation, and soft tissue management as well. So I would like to start my first tip for today with the flap design and how can we think about the proper flap design that will give us the perfect situation and the perfect manipulation of the flap in order of first, good closure, second, less tension, and the third and the most important one, less scarring in the areas. So let's go and see this on some photos. Here, in this case, for example, it's for a young guy who came with an edentulous area in the posterior part. We can see on the left side of the photo that we have this ridge with a keratinized tissue with a narrow ridge of keratinized tissues. You can see here the area, and as well you can see it on the buccal view, which is only around, if we give it a thickness, which is only around 1 millimeter or 2, that diminishes into very little amount in the posterior or distal area. So, to think about it properly and how we can think and to manage such flaps, we always should think about first to see the area that is behind or distal to the canine or distal to the distal tooth or mesial tooth of the defect. So here, if we go propping this area or the facial area and we find the propping depth more than 4 millimeters, we are forced to start thinking about having a papilla-free incision. Why? Because if we do a cut in this area, we are just making or sacrificing the height of this papilla. So the height of the papilla will be collapsed, and then we will have an exposure of the canine. And this is exactly what happened with the patient when he had his previous implant surgery and he had a failure for his implants. So, in order for it to give the proper flap design in such cases, after probing the area, we go in the crestal position, which is here on the crest like this, exactly in the middle of the crest. We can go a little bit to the many people will say more to the lingual. I say I prefer always try to keep keratinized tissues distributed well between the two flap margins. So here we continue in front, and then as we have here more than 6 millimeters of propping depth, we want to leave these tissues. We go in this manner, and then in an oblique incision on the keratinized tissues, when we are just touching the mucogingiva, we go mucogingival junction, we go in a perpendicular manner. And this will prevent scarring, as well will give us the opportunity for perfect visualization of the area, perfect grafting of the area, and everything we want to do in such an area. Finally, always remember that we have to think about scarring in the area of the incisions, especially in the aesthetic area. Always remember, keratinized tissues, attached tissues, always our cut should not be perpendicular to the mucogingival junction. It's always even oblique or horizontal. On the other hand, in the mucosa, after the mucogingival junction, we never go oblique or we never go in horizontal direction. We always go perpendicular to the mucogingival junction. This is to prevent scarring. As well, as we said before, always use the magical instruments of the probe in order to what? In order to prevent the loss of papillae at the mesial and distal tooth of the defect. And that's, if we have a propping depth of more than 4 millimeters, we should avoid cutting this papilla. Remember that? Stay at home, be safe, and see you in another tip.